Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Power Hour. Sorry about the couple of delays, technical issues I'm experiencing today. As you guys can see, my background, I'm in a different room. Um, I don't know what's going on, but technical issues are technical issues. Welcome to Power Hour. I made it. I survived. This is what happens without Chris. So, Chris, my YouTube manager, had a baby day before yesterday, and wonderful, healthy boy, and he's number 3. And but this is how much I appreciate him, because without him, these kind of things happen. Yeah, I have no trading screen behind me. I'm in a room that I just kind of put together. So good morning, everyone, and what a day, right? What a Friday, bloody Friday. We have a lot to discuss, and before I get into any of that, welcome to, hey, Stephen, welcome. Welcome to being a member. So let's start there. Please grab a membership. Members get 2 perks for now, and they'll be added on later. Members get 2 extra live streams, members only live streams, which few members here who have been attending those for a couple, 3 weeks now. I think those are amazing. Great, education, information that, they're getting out of the membership, which is, I think, super reasonable, if not actually cheap. But I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing it for you to learn and improve yourself and whatever investing or trading you're going to do. More importantly, those 2 extra live streams are getting to the members the idea of what my world is like, right? What my thought process is before I'm trading. Again, this is not financial advice, trading advice, or investing advice. I have to say that. But with my 30 years of experience, I'm trying to pass along that 30 years worth of experience to them. Obviously, it's not going to happen in a week or 2 or 5 or 10. However, it will accelerate their way of looking at this game. And it's a game, okay? It would also stop them from doing the mistakes I did learning all these years, okay? So that experience, passing that along, is priceless, okay? That's one. Number 2, if you're an existing member or just became a new member like Steven did, please email me, Sergio at sergioavadian.com. You will get this t-shirt that I'm wearing for free. And just send me your t-shirt size and send me your physical address, and within hopefully 10 days you'll receive it if you're in the US. Outside US, I don't think we have any members outside US yet, but if you're in the US, you'll get it. And so when we do our members only lives, okay, everybody's wearing these t-shirts, although this week. The other thing that I'm asking all the members and all the new members that are going to become members, please show up to these members lives. Turn on your notifications. Obviously you're subscribed, but if you don't turn on your notifications, you're not going to get notification of when members live is. Last one was last Wednesday. So it's every 2 weeks on Wednesdays, 10 a.m. That's Power Hour. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, we decided on that. If I have 20 members, I want all 20 of you to show up, right? Because why? Because we're exchanging ideas as well. I'm also learning from you all, okay? Not about trading, not about anything else, but I'm, about new ideas, right? People come up with stocks, like, oh, take a look at this, take a look at that, right? So it's really, really important. This is a shout out to all my members. I appreciate the support, but please show up to these members only live. So the next one, let me see. Let me look at the calendar. When is the next one? The next one is going to be, last one was on the 13th of, 13th of November. Next one is going to be the 27th, right after Thanksgiving. Okay, so you all had your share of turkey, and then you'll come up. And then 2 weeks after that on a Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. So, okay, please show up. I urge you to show up, okay? The information and education you're going to get is invaluable because it's more one-on-one. more hands-on. A lot of people asking me different questions. I can answer them as opposed to going through the chat. So please show up. If you decide to become a member, thank you for the support. Turn on your notifications. Email me, Sergio@sergioavedian.com, so you can get your free t-shirt. Not even shipping is involved. It's all free. It's a $30 item. It's done by Gig With It, which is the merchandise supplier of the channel. And we do it in-house, and a lot of members received it already. The quality is super high. So, it's another perk. But the perk is to show up to the lives and learn, okay? Let me go through the chat real quick. So, Steven, thank you for becoming a member. Mojotronics, already a member. Techie B. L. Lenoir, good afternoon. Vic, good morning. Adele, good morning. Adele, you got to show up to memberships, man. It was wonderful. So, Jeffrey, good morning. How do we join? You go to the YouTube channel. There is a join oval. You click on that. You become a member. That's how you join. So being a subscriber is different than being a member. Okay. So you can become a member that way. As soon as you become a member, email me also to get your free t-shirt. Membership is $10 a month. You can't even buy a good hamburger these days for $10. The education you're going to get is, well, I don't know. Have some of the members put some comments in the chat for potentially new members. How were those three so far, or 3 or 4 we had members only lives? Put some in the chat. Maybe it'll convince some other people, because I can say all I want. I can talk about how good they are, but then experience is experience. Have the members tell you in the chat. Jeffrey, what camera? I'm using a Logitech camera, and I'm using a Hypercast quad for microphone. The same I use for the other channel when I do the live streams. I'm having issues with my background. I'm having issues with my green screen. I'm having issues today, though. I don't know. So with that said, welcome to Power Hour. Power Hour indefinitely continues every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll be back on Monday. So Mondays and Fridays, bookends of the week. Mondays are called Trading with Sergio, live, just like today, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Fridays are called Power Hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Those will go on indefinitely. Members only lives every 2 weeks on Wednesdays. We're putting out good content. Please check the content out. Please subscribe. Please put a thumbs up. I appreciate the support. And with that said, today is a bloody day. Although, the last thing, I am posting all my current open positions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the community page of the channel. Okay? Please go there. If you guys went there, if you guys see my positions on Wednesday, you guys knew I had index puts. Well, those index puts protect all my long exposure, and in fact make me money. And long puts were sold literally 10 minutes before I came on the show. Okay. Those went from $4 to close to $8.50. All right. Now, I'm not telling you to do what I'm doing there. It's really difficult to do what I'm doing because I'm on it. Right. I'm following the markets day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. Some of you I know cannot do that. But if you're going to tag along and piggyback on those positions, be really, really careful. The reason for that is I could be in and out of something already by the time you're getting in. However, my suggestion to members or subscribers is if you do see a position that's continuous, that means I'm holding that position, right? Then you can participate in it. If I'm doing options, which I do quite often, derivatives, if you see a position, do the underlying shares. Do not do the options, because I don't think most of you are not ready are not ready for options. I can do it because I know what I'm doing. And options are short term, right? I don't want you to be jockeys. I don't want you to be, at the horse races. This is not about guessing. This is about data, how to use the data, how to interpret the data. And on options, it's short term. I have to be right in the double Ds. Double Ds, we call it direction and duration. So I know a lot of, you see a lot of stuff on social media. Oh, it just made $1 million and this and that. Where are these people? I want to talk to these people. Okay. Where are these people? I don't know. Right. They put their pictures of Lamborghinis up there. I'm like, okay, where is everybody? So my point is, if you're going to piggyback, you're more than welcome to. Again, it's not financial or trading advice, but do the underlying. And a lot of the members actually did trade the underlying. I think one was Techie B. Techie B made some good money. Underlying meaning do the equity. So because the options are derived, that's why they're called derivatives, off of an underlying index or underlying option. Underlying stock. So if you had followed me for a while, you guys know what options I'm holding long or short. Okay. If I'm holding an option long, that means there's going to be a quick up move, especially call options, up move in the underlying. Well, you can participate in it by buying the underlying, which has happened this past 2-3 weeks, right? But again, go check like today, I'm going to post again at the close. What you guys see on Wednesday, you're not going to see today because I'm not posting every day. I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday is plenty. You can tag along, right? If I was long index puts on Wednesday, well, look what's happening today. Will I get back into different puts today? Most likely by the end of the day, and I will post those positions. So go check it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All open positions, no full transparency, right? The losers, the winners, everything. And we all know I have a loser. I'm holding on to a loser. I'm okay with it. And I've explained why I'm doing it on the members only live. And when I go through my trading screen, I will explain that further as well. So with that said, I'm going to talk a little bit about topics like I do on Power Hour, and then we're going to go share the screen, my watch list. A lot of stocks are breaking down today, so I'm not long much really. I'm maybe 80% cash. Always keep cash, but so let's talk about Power Hour. Power Hour today. We're going to talk about why Americans choosing to rent rather than buy a home. Right? More and more people are renting as opposed to buying at their house, their first house, or upgrading or downgrading. Another topic I'm going to talk about is most Americans are not saving enough for retirement. That's a fact. They're depending on Social Security. Is that going to be enough? Right? No, it's not going to be enough because Social Security fund is being raided by the politicians on a daily basis. I'm going to talk about something called stagflation. That may be a new term for you all, but stagflation is the first 4 letters, stag in stagnant, and flation, after the I, inflation. So meaning a stagnant economy, not growing, contracting GDP with high inflation. That's called stagflation. Have we experienced that in the past? Yeah, 35 years ago. It's not pretty, but I'm going to talk about that. Are the 2 smartest governments in the world are these tiny countries? Well, one not so tiny, but the other one is tiny. El Salvador and Bhutan. You guys can go Google it and see it on your maps where these countries are around the globe. Then I'm going to talk about the Trump cabinet. He's putting some sort of cabinet. He's either completely trolling the Democrats by doing what he's doing. I don't think so. I think there are some really highly qualified people in there. Look, this is not political. You guys, everybody has their opinions about who he's selecting to his cabinet, but I'll talk a little bit about that cabinet. Mr. Buffett, Warren Buffett, legendary investor, he's selling more stock. He's sold more Apple. He sold more Bank of America. His cash pile, what I'll talk about, is literally more than the US Treasury now. Believe me, okay? You can Google that too, but I'll talk a little bit about that. And finally, we end with a bang. What was the bang last week? It started last weekend overnight because crypto trades 24/7. There's no sleeping with crypto, specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum and the big ones, even some of the altcoins, right? Okay, what happened? We've been talking about this for the 4 months on the channel that I've been doing, Power Hour and trading with Sergio forever. What happened? Finally, Bitcoin broke out. When Bitcoin, and I've been saying this, the more it goes sideways, the bigger the move is going to be. Well, sure enough, Bitcoin broke out close to 90,000. I'll talk about that as well. So with that said, let me get into the first subject. So the first one is going to be, we're becoming a nation of renters. Why? Well, affordability, right? Most of us cannot afford. So I know this from myself. I'm 57, it's 57 and a half. When I was in my 20s and had a good career and on Wall Street making good money, we're talking 30 plus years ago now, my salary, I could buy a home with about 3 times of my salary. Meaning, if I was making $100,000, I could buy a nice home in California for about $350,000 to $400,000. That's a fact. And I'm talking a nice home. I'm not talking Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive, but a really, really nice 2-story, 3,500 square foot house. Okay. Let's fast forward that to today. If your salary today is still 6 figures, let's say 150,000, 120,000, which is good money. Not too many people make that. If you're actually making 200,000, you're in the top 1%. Okay. On your W-2. So let's take that. Okay. But an average American, right, making $60,000 to $80,000 a year, and go to California. But this is relevant to all the country, the whole country. If you're making, 100 grand in California today, you're literally living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. So what will that salary that was my salary in 30 years ago, right? I could buy a really decent house for 3.5 times my salary. What is it today? You cannot buy a shack in California today, especially in the LA area where I live, and San Francisco is more expensive, San Diego more expensive. You cannot even buy a shack today, right, for less than $1 million. So now my salary has stayed the same, but the home prices have gone up so much now, 10 times now my salary will buy me a decent house. Well, how many people can afford to do that? So that's called the affordability index. And more importantly, in there, right, one of the most important things that goes into the affordability index is mortgages, right? We know what happened. Fed raised the rates. Mortgages went up to 7%. Well, in October, this past month, 36% of Americans said they would rent if they were going to move. Well, yeah, and that's why we see the chart on the right-hand side. As of 10/31/2024, 36% of them are saying I rather rent because they cannot afford to buy even a starter home with a decent salary. If you're making 60, 80,000 in California, you cannot afford to buy a house. And the affordability index is directly related to high interest rates. And the Federal Reserve, in their good wisdom, they started cutting interest rates about a month ago, right? Since they cut the interest rates, what has happened? Mortgages are right back to 7% because the bond market is not buying what the Fed is selling, and they're increasing the rates. And the affordability index is going to get better for most average Americans one single way. Well, two ways. Their income either has to go up, right? 6, 8, 10% a year. And you will have a correction in the real estate market, and housing prices come down, as well as the mortgages go back down to 4 or 5%. That will put the affordability index into a little bit more manageable situation, and then people will start buying homes again as opposed to renting. And when you do rent, by the way, you have no control unless you're in some sort of rent control area. What is the landlord going to do? They're going to keep raising rates. Well, hopefully you're hoping now that with the rent that you're raising, number one, if you don't buy a house, you don't have a chance to grow equity in anything. You're just basically putting money on fire. In the old days, renting was not an option because for the rental price, your mortgage was equal to the rental price. Well, now it's double, triple. That's why people are going renting, because that's all they can afford. So it's a bad situation, especially for younger people who are starting life. And I hope it gets better. But yeah, people are renting today, not because they want to rent. That's because they're forced to rent, because affordability, housing affordability is absolutely in the tank, right? So next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about today is the what the Fed is doing, and what stagflation means. Okay, So stagflation is not something that we want. Okay. I have explained this on previous videos. What stagflation is a stagnant economy, unemployment going up, GDP contracting with high inflation. Well, we had high inflation for 3 years. Why? Because the government keeps printing money, right? We're up to $36 trillion in the national debt, and they keep printing and spending. When you do that, the definition of the inflation is too many dollars chasing too few goods. That's why all hard asset prices are at all-time high. Stocks, except with the exception of today, gold, silver, Bitcoin. It's not because of anything else. Inflation, those are all inflation hedges. Okay, hard assets, and that includes real estate, obviously. Okay, so Fed decided for some reason to cut rates. Okay, well, it's not working. The bond market is raising rates against the Fed cutting rates. Has Fed lost control of the interest rate market, the bond market? Seems like it to me. But as far as stagflation is concerned, by the way, I do religiously follow the Kobisi letter on Twitter, or in new X now. Since Fed cut the rates, the average rate on a 30-year mortgage has gone up nearly 100 basis points. That's 1 full percentage point, people. Okay. And as you guys can see on the chart on the right-hand side in the box, that's the mortgage. Okay. So Fed is trying to lower the 30-year mortgages by cutting rates, the Fed funds rate, the interest rates. Just the bond market is not buying it. We now have 7% plus mortgages and rising rates across the board. Consumers are losing confidence as rates rise despite a promise of lower interest rates. Now, the Federal Reserve Chairman, he was asked this question after the last Fed meeting. They said, is stagflation a possibility? And then he said, this is his quote, I'm not joking. Fed Chair Powell said he doesn't see the stag or deflation. Well, this is the new version of their inflation is transitory. Inflation is not transitory. Inflation is there. We're experiencing every single day in what we're buying. We go to the store, food is more expensive, rents are higher, our insurances are higher. It is tragic what's happening, but the antidote to inflation is higher interest rates. That's why Fed, after having zero interest rates for 15 years, they raised the rates from 0 to 5%. Okay, well, that's in order to kill inflation. That's the antidote. All right. Well, it's not happening. Inflation is not going away. Is everything we're buying higher by 30, 40, 50% over the last 3 years? Of course. Are they coming down now? Because Fed keeps saying inflation, is 2%. Is it 2%? Are your pockets saying that inflation is only 2%? I don't think so. So my thing is, there is a real potential of stagflation. Stagflation is something that they don't have an antidote for. I rather have inflation over stagflation any day, because I know how I can deal with inflation. Because on a stagflationary period, you're in a box. So if the economy is slowing down, the gasoline that you need to put fire on is what? Lower interest rates. That's what the Fed is doing. It's trying to preempt, because they're seeing that the economy may slow down. So they started cutting rates. Well, lower rates is what created inflation over the last 15 years. Lower rates and printing money, right? So now they're in a box. If they keep cutting rates, inflation may come back with a vengeance. And if they raise rates, economy may slow down now, which it is slowing down. That's why they're cutting the rates. Fed never cuts rates if we have no inflation and if the economy is doing fine, right? Economy starts petering out, and that's why they're cutting the rates. So now they're in a box. If they keep cutting rates, inflation may come back. Well, they're cutting rates because they're thinking economy is slowed down. That's why you have the potential of stagflation, stagnant economy with high inflation. You don't want that. There is no antidote to that. There is no cure for that. It just has to work itself out. And is the soft landing still going to happen? I don't know. I'm not sure. But, Fed Chair Powell doesn't think that stag or inflation is a problem. So I'm going like, okay, I guess we listen to the Fed. So, yeah, we don't want stagflation, and you guys don't want to experience it. I have experienced it in the 80s. You guys don't want that. You know, at that time, the Fed Chair Volcker raised the rates to 20% to kill inflation, but it killed the economy as well. So we just want to go steady Eddie. But one thing that I'm going to talk about shortly is we need to get rid of that, not get rid of, control that deficit spending. We cannot print ourselves to prosperity, and that's a fact. So, next thing I'm going to talk about with you guys today is going to be retirement. Okay, I'm getting close to retirement. Okay, I'm 58, well, 57 and a half. In March, I'm going to be 58. No lies. I'm old, but at 65, I'm going to take my retirement, because I think if I wait until 68 to take it, I don't think Social Security is going to be there. I want the money back. I paid into it. Every retiree should get the money back somehow. Okay, but they have raided the Social Security fund. It's almost broke, right? But this is the point. That's why I created also this channel, because we have older people here. We need to learn how to invest ourselves. We cannot depend on the government to provide us with a decent retirement. Okay, plus whatever we're going to get out of Social Security is not going to be enough, because inflation is eating into the buying power of the dollars we're going to receive from the government back that we paid in. Because when we paid in, the dollars were worth something. Today, dollars worth trash. It's losing 6 or 7% of its value every single year. So Americans have insufficient savings to cover their retirement. I agree. If you did not plan, and if you're going to retire in the next 10, 20 years, good luck, especially the youngsters who are paying for the older people's, retirement these days. 38% of retirees and 39% of working baby boomers, okay, that's me, have less than 100,000 in retirement savings, according to Goldman Sachs survey. It's true. Nobody pays attention to it until it's time to pay attention to it, but then it's too late. If you don't allow the power of compounding, power of investing while you're young, don't cry foul later, because what you're going to get out of Social Security, if you're going to get it, is not going to be enough. And furthermore, 50% of Generation X consumers have not reached the 100,000 saving threshold. $100,000 today in the US is nothing. 100,000 20, 30 years ago was a lot. Today is nothing, right? And at the same time, 73% of currently working respondents expect to maintain over 50% of their working income in retirement, including Social Security. Why? Why do we see people drawing on Social Security income still working? Because it's not enough. And unfortunately, they did not save while they should have saved. They did not save into 401k, into Roth IRA, into an IRA. If you're working somewhere, W2, you have 401k, contribute the max, have the company, provide you with some support there as well. So this is going to be a big problem. I'm okay. I mean, I'm going to collect Social Security, but I certainly cannot depend on that couple $1,000s or whatever it is that I'm going to get. I cannot sustain myself with that. But I've done reasonably smart investments, and I'm okay with it, because I knew this when I was younger. That's the problem in this country. Education is lacking. We are not teaching our kids out of college. I have dinners at my house. Gather the kids. I have a 15-year-old and a 20-year-old. Okay. What do I say to them? I go, are you investing? Are you putting $100 a month away? This is without your Social Security income. You need to invest. Dollar cost average and invest. Trust the system, not the American system. I'm talking trust the power of compounding. Trust the investing mindset. Okay. And most retirees now are retiring, and they're going like, well, hopefully their house is paid off. Hopefully that they're living in, so they don't have to go somewhere and, live in an old age home or whatever. But the freedom that's going to give you, that all the planning you did when you were younger, is what you're going to set you free, and you don't have to go work somewhere extra now, because you worked all your life. This is the time. This is the time for retirees to travel. This is the time to enjoy life, right? But what's happening, it seems like not enough people have done it. And one thing I know, over the next 10 to 14 years, close to 50 million baby boomers are going to retire in this country. That's me. Okay? 50 million of us are going to retire. That's definitely going to break the Social Security system, for sure, because there's not enough money to pay all those people. So what is the government most likely going to do? Add, agony to defeat, which is they're going to increase the Social Security collecting date, I guess, for a lack of a better word. Instead of 65, they're going to push it to 68, the retirement age. Then they're going to push it to 70, right? At the moment, it stands at 65, early retirement, right? So all they do is kick the can down the road. And if you did not plan for your own retirement and trusted the government that it was going to be there, I have bad news. It's not there, but again, it's never too late. Even if you're 50 years old now, start investing. By the time you're 65, you'll have something. Believe in dollar cost averaging, believe in the power of compounding. And when I say investing, don't do what I'm doing. I day trade, I do this, I do that. That's not the point. But I know what I'm doing, right? But at least educate yourself about your finances. Educate yourself where your money is going to come from. And hopefully your house is paid off so you don't have that, headache going with you. And you hopefully have some equity that you've increased over the last, 30 years. Maybe if you had a 30-year mortgage, you should have tons of equity in there. So you do have something. Maybe you sell the house. Maybe you downsize. Maybe you go to a condo or whatever. But all I'm saying is planning is necessary, and it seems like not enough people are planning. And unfortunately, it's going to be a problem. And I hope people listen to this. And if you have elders, or if you're at my age, please pay attention to what I'm saying. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is there are a couple of countries that have done nothing but wonders for their people. Okay, one is El Salvador and one is Bhutan. On the global map, if you guys go check out the map, right? Bhutan is a tiny, tiny, tiny country. And El Salvador is a country of 6.5 million people, obviously in South America. But what is that? California is 35 million people. El Salvador is 6.5 million people. Think about it, okay? All right. So what did these two governments do? Okay, these two governments went and invested in Bitcoin with their treasury money, just like MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor is doing, okay? So the Bitcoin stash, and when he did it, by the way, Nayib Bukele, he's the president, young guy, they bought Bitcoin and now they're doubled, actually, whatever they put in. Initially, a lot of the developed countries' government said, oh my God, he's gambling with his people's money. Okay, well, look, who's laughing now? So he went and put $200 or $250 million in Bitcoin of his treasury's money. Well, that now is at 500 million at 90,000. The bigger story is not El Salvador with 6.5 million people. The bigger story, okay, is Bhutan. Bhutan has 800,000 people that live in it. 800,000. That's the whole country. Bhutan is a rich country, though. They went and invested a lot more than El Salvador did. Now, Bhutan's Bitcoin holdings is above $1 billion. Now, let me put this in perspective to you guys, because that may not sound like a lot of money, because we're talking about trillions. Bitcoin market value is at 90,000, is about 1.8 trillion now. That may not sound like a lot to you guys, but billion has still a lot of zeros for a country of 800,000 people, okay? So, and El Salvador keeps adding, by the way. They're doing exactly what Michael Saylor is doing at MicroStrategy. So the value of El Salvador's Bitcoin holdings have risen above 500 million and Bhutan's above 1 billion. Bhutan's BTC holdings now account for more than 1/3 of its GDP. Think about it, people. So our GDP in this country is 27 trillion. Our debt is 36 trillion. We're running at 130% of our GDP in debt. No debt there. They went and put the money in Bitcoin. You guys know how I feel about Bitcoin and how much of my assets are in Bitcoin. And El Salvador's obviously much bigger country. Their GDP is a lot more, but the Bitcoin holdings that they have just went above 1.5% of its GDP, right? The fiscal situation of El Salvador's government continues to improve, as well as Bhutan. Everybody is getting rich in Bhutan. I mean, the government decided, well, we're going to put our money where our mouth is. So I'm going to talk quite a bit at the end, last segment, about Bitcoin and what's going on. Personally speaking, that's the only asset that you cannot make more of, that I know of. You can always make more gold. There's always more real estate. I'm talking hard asset now. There's always more silver. You can find more. You can always find more oil. Stocks, you can always create shares and distribute to the market. There is no more Bitcoin until tomorrow. Satoshi comes out and says, oh, by the way, I forgot, I had another 10 million Bitcoin in my wallet, because we don't even know if that guy exists. He's a mythical creature at the moment, the founder or inventor of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is that's the only finite thing that I see. Dollars are not, fiat currency is not finite. Fiat currency, we just keep printing. Or actually, we're adding zeros to the ledger and spending the money, right? So I'm going like, as far as I know, if you put it in the chat, if you guys know something that's finite, meaning there's 21 million Bitcoin and 19.5 million are spoken for. So there's only 1.5 million to go to be mined, approximately, but when you have something that's finite, that you cannot make more of, and the proof of concept is there, okay, I think it has a place in everybody's portfolio. So about 8% of my assets, I will never sell Bitcoin. I haven't bought lately. I will never sell it. I'm just going to pass it on to my kids, right? But the important thing is, I had concerns about it, but I'll talk about it on the last segment when I talk more. So kudos to El Salvador. Thumbs up to Bhutan. Who knows what other country is going to do? And then think about it. More than this money, right? How many companies in the US, like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Warren Buffett is never going to get into Bitcoin. We know that. They have cash hoards of hundreds of billions of dollars that are sitting in T-bills. What will happen to Bitcoin if tomorrow Apple has 180 billion in cash sitting in US Treasuries, meaning, collecting 4.5% on T-bills, okay? What if Apple says, just 10% of that we're going to put into Bitcoin, like Michael Saylor did? As you all know, Elon did it at Tesla, and we know what happened to Bitcoin then. And, my concern with Bitcoin was government risk. Well, that's gone, but let me talk about that, in the last segment. So what if companies start duplicating what MicroStrategy is doing? What if Google says 10 billion goes into Bitcoin, into my, company treasury? Well, I don't know. Where is Bitcoin going then? Related to Bitcoin, one of the reasons, obviously, the next topic that I'm going to talk about, it's not political. Don't get pissed off, people. All I'm saying is that I am hopeful that the next 4 years is going to bring some change, and for the American people, some good stuff is going to happen. Okay, so far this is what I know. In fact, after this, Trump appointed RFK Jr. As his Health and Human Services Secretary. So look at this list. Okay, this is like an all-star team. But then I have some questions about a few people in here. But overall, one thing that hits me right away is the average age of these people. We have the 30-year-old here, Taylor Budowich, who is Deputy Chief of Staff for Communications and Personnel at the White House. 30-year-old. We have Vivek at 39, Department of Government Efficiency. Okay. Elon at 53. Tom Homan at Border Czar. Okay. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, 44. When was the last time you guys remember these many 40 years old at top cabinet positions? Now, I don't know who the Treasury Secretary is going to be, right? We have Susie Wiles, I think, is the oldest one, she ran an amazing campaign for Trump, and she was the campaign manager. Now she's the White House Chief of Staff. We have Matt Gaetz, 42, Attorney General. Marco Rubio, 53, Secretary of State. Tulsi Gabbard, age 43, Director of National Intelligence. A lot of people are questioning that choice and also questioning Matt Gaetz. We'll see. I'm just saying that this is a pretty and the difference, by the way, between now and the first Trump presidency was Trump was nowhere near this list when he first won. He had no clue how to run a government. Well, now he's putting the team together already. And we have, last but not least, we have J.D. Vance as the vice president. This guy's 40 years old. Okay? So he's putting a good team together. All I'm going to do is, not that Mr. Trump or anybody on this list is going to listen to me, but my thing is for all Americans. Okay? We're all Americans. We need to take care of this country because this is the greatest country on the planet. There is no if, but anything else, because a lot of people complain in the US. We have a lot of complainers. From the other channel, I have a lot of complainers I deal with. But the next day, you guys are doing the same thing again. Here, in the US, people complain about the US. What are you complaining about? Have you been around the world? Have you seen how people live? What kind of conditions exist? We have it so good here, we don't even know how good we have it until you start traveling. That's why I recommend people to travel. Just goddamn backpack. That's not that expensive. Go see how other people are living in the world. We have it so good here. We're just spoiled, right? So I'm hoping for Mr. Trump and his new cabinet to do some good for the American people, not just Republicans, not just, Democrats, immigrants, everybody. You guys have to have some fixing to do. We all know what they need to be done. But I'm hoping that at the top, that DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, does their work. Between Vivek and Elon, you have two brilliant minds. I don't know how Elon's going to find the time to do any of that, but we have two brilliant minds. We have a lot of waste in this country. Is that $36 trillion that's going to turn into $37 trillion in another 100 days? Is that ever going to get paid back? No. But first, before even thinking of paying that back, we need to stop it from going up $1 trillion every 100 days. It's killing it. It's just mortgaging my kids' future. I'm okay with it. Well, I'm not okay with it, obviously, but why are my kids' future being mortgaged? They're getting shackled with $36 trillion in debt. Literally every unborn child has $110,000 in debt in this country. Why? Why are you guys doing this, right? Hopefully, that's the first thing they tackle and get it under control. That it stops going up $1 trillion every 100 days. Because the interest on it, just the interest on the debt, is $1.2 trillion a year. As the Treasury, we only take in $4.7 trillion. Literally 30% of what we're taking in tax receipts is going to pay IOUs to other people around the globe. Why? Why can't we take that money and then do some good in this country, right? So hopefully, I'm hopeful. Well, let's see, cautiously optimistic I am of the next at least 2 years, because there's midterm elections. But I think this first 100 days of this Trump presidency is going to be probably one of the most pivotal, most important 100 days of any presidency that I can remember of. And I've been in this country over 35 years, okay? And to me, things need to change. Things need to get done better. Waste has to end. Spending has to end. Tax and spend has to end. Borrow and spend definitely needs to end. And then we'll see where we go. Hopefully, it's going to do some really good for all Americans. And, this is not about party. This is not about anything else. It's about the country. And hopefully, things are going to turn out well. Importantly, I'm hopeful, okay? I'm hopeful that Mr. Trump is not doing this just to troll people, seriously, because he has a tendency of doing some, goofy stuff. But I hope that this cabinet, as young as they are, it also talks to the younger generation, These don't look like the average age politicians, is 70, 80 years old in the Senate for like 35 years, right? I'm hoping, I'm hopeful. So hopefully you guys agree with me on this, that things at least need to change and we're on the right path at the moment, okay? So next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Mr. Buffett, who's not a youngster. I think he's 91, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a legendary investor. Is there any question about that? No, okay? If you had invested in Berkshire Hathaway for the last 25, 30 years, where would you be? 100x your money? Imagine if your dollar cost average into Berkshire Hathaway stock. But he didn't get there because he's a fool. He got there because he manages money. He manages money in good times and bad times. And his wonderful saying is what? When there's blood in the streets, you buy. Well, today there's blood in the streets, as far as I'm concerned. It's just one day. Doesn't make a trend. I don't know. But Mr. Buffett has been doing something that he has done previously, and which is he's raising cash. How do you raise cash? He's selling stock. The two top sales is Apple and B of A. He's just been selling nonstop. As you guys can see, again, thanks to the Kobeshi letter, his cash pile is truly historic now, okay? Berkshire Hathaway's cash position relative to total assets under management is at 28%. So that's like me being 100% in cash in my trading account or investing account, okay? Because these people are always invested. They have hundreds of billions of shares of stuff, of issues, stocks, company stock. And for him to be at 28% cash, as we can see on the right-hand side screenshot, this is his cash position going back to 1990, all right? And oddly enough, when his cash position goes up, shortly after that, maybe not imminently, but at least within 6 months to a year, something bad happens, always. And then he puts the cash to work. Okay, let's look at that chart real quick. And this is the 2000 dot-com bubble, when the Berkshire Hathaway was a lot smaller. Look at his cash position at the peak. And then we had the 2000 dot-com bubble. And then he invested all that cash, right? Look at his cash position go down to almost zero because he saw value. Warren Buffett is a value investor. If he's not seeing value, he's going to raise cash and he's going to wait for value to come to him. And that's going to happen with the market correction, okay? Then from 2000, once he was fully invested, obviously, right before 2008, before the GFC, look at his cash position then. It's about 25%, okay? And then it goes from 25% to literally under 10%. Why? Because he came and put money in Goldman Sachs. He came and bought Bank of America, $5 a share. He came and literally saved the market. He put all those hundreds of billions of dollars in cash to work, okay? Then he stays kind of flat, and then here's the alarming part. You guys see that oval there on the right-hand side? Now his cash position is 28% higher than ever, okay? What does that say? Okay, Mr. Buffett is waiting for value to come to him. Well, is it going to come to him ever? Or is he wrong? Please put it in the chat. Let's see if you guys think like Warren Buffett thinks. The company is piling into cash at a faster pace. FYI, I checked this. It's a fact. At the moment, the cash hoard that he's holding is $340 billion with a B, meaning he has more holdings of treasury bills, because that's where the money is at, than the Federal Reserve. Go check it. Go check the Federal Reserve ledger and Warren Buffett's ledger. He's holding more treasury bills than the Federal Reserve. And the more important thing he did, he also is investing in his own company, right? They're called buybacks. So what does he do? You know, he has cash available. You can go buy Apple with it. You can go buy Google with it. You can go buy Microsoft with it. What does he do? He goes invest. He buys his own shares back in Berkshire Hathaway. He's been buying them since 2018, and Berkshire Hathaway stock has gone, obviously, done beautifully. He even halted the buybacks in his own company. What is Warren Buffett saying? Is anybody listening? What is Warren Buffett saying? Warren Buffett saying markets are extremely overvalued. I'm just going to keep raising cash. Cash cannot hurt me. I'm just going to wait until my opportunity shows up and dump all the cash. And that's how he makes his money. That's how Berkshire Hathaway stock keeps going, outperforming everything else. You know, he is the proverbial buy low, sell high person that I know of. And have other people outperformed Warren Buffett? Absolutely, right? I mean, look, we have hedge fund billionaires that have done better than Warren Buffett, but nobody should talk, you know, smack about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett knows what he's doing. So last but not least, I'm going to talk about, you know, everybody's been asking me this week, Bitcoin, should I buy Bitcoin? Should I sell Bitcoin? Is it too high? Is it too low? I'm going like, first of all, This is the one advice, if any advice there is about Bitcoin. To me, Bitcoin is not a trading vehicle. It's not. I can't do it. I can hardly trade stocks that I know of. I know well. Bitcoin, I have no idea. Bitcoin is something you buy and you hold. Okay. And that's been my answer, and that's going to be my answer in this power hour today. Bitcoin is something you buy, you hold, your dollar cost average, and people go, "Isn't 90,000 too high?" I have no idea. If you look back next year when I'm doing power hour and it's at 180,000, you're going to ask me the same thing. Isn't Bitcoin too high? I'm like, too high compared to what? There's no comparison in history. And then, but obviously, there's a Trump effect in all this, right? Since that plus MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, saying that he's going to borrow and issue shares in his company up to $42 billion and buy more Bitcoin. He's the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin. He literally, in fact, he bought $2 billion more worth at 74,000. And that happened to coincide, by the way, with the breakout that I've been talking about to you guys for the last 4 months. What has Bitcoin done? Bitcoin went up from 30,000 to 72,000. Then it went between 72 and 58, like a trading range, we call it in our world, sideways for 7 months. And if you guys go back and check out what I've been talking about Bitcoin in other segments, I said, this to me looks like a consolidation phase. This to me looks like going sideways. And when something goes sideways longer, the breakout is going to be that much more violent. And that breakout happened to coincide with the Trump victory. And that also happened to coincide with Michael Saylor buying $2 billion more of Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people, a lot of talk is in the markets, right? That Trump is more friendly to Bitcoin. They may even issue some treasury, make it part of the treasury, right? Some as a treasury asset. I don't know if any of that is going to happen. If that happens, then Bitcoin is gone. Because then other countries will follow, then other corporate entities will follow. I don't know where Bitcoin is going to be. But for me, Bitcoin is not a trading asset. You buy, you hold, and you accumulate. You can buy, and you can buy Bitcoin for $1 too, by the way. So whatever you can do, create a Bitcoin account, either Coinbase or Robinhood or wherever it is, and then have a cold wallet. I even talked about that on the last live stream with the members. You need to have a cold wallet. Take it out of the exchange. Don't give him custody. Okay. And it's like a little thumb drive. You take it out, put it on your ledger. Put it on your cold wallet, and then you're good to go. Importantly, the Trump effect obviously is not negligible. This thing went from 68,000 when Trump during the elections, we hit 93,000, then we went back to 87. Now we're hovering around 90. It's not going down. And people ask me, well, technically speaking, Serge, what do you think the chart? What does the chart look like? Okay, I looked at the chart. I measured it to 110,000 on this leg, and then there'll be a correction maybe. But then every leg is going to be higher, because the other thing that has happened with Bitcoin is that the volatility is subsiding now. Why? Because you have BlackRocks in there. You have actual folks like you and me who can go buy IBIT, which is the Bitcoin ETF. Okay. So to me, the volatility has subsided. People go, oh, but the last time it went to 60,000, then it went from 60,000 all the way to 10,000. Yeah, but then we didn't have Michael Saylor with MicroStrategy with billions of dollars. We didn't have BlackRock, creating ETFs. We didn't have Fidelity creating ETFs. We didn't have the regular public, participating in Bitcoin, in ETFs, and there is less Bitcoin now, right? So all these things are working in favor of Bitcoin. Am I like religious about this thing? Am I going to put all my money into Bitcoin? Hell no, I'm not going to do that. But whatever I have is I'm going to hold. I'm not going to trade. I will never trade Bitcoin. And a lot of people go, let's time it. Let's sell it at 90, buy it at 80. So I'm like, why? Just leave it alone. Okay, here's the bottom line. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset going back 12 years. Since its inception, Bitcoin, with all the 60 to 10 to 60 to 30, whatever, on average, has returned 145% a year for the last 12 years in a row. That includes all the gyration, the zigzagging, right? Is he going to do that going forward? Probably not. But I don't think the returns are going to be anything less than 30 to 40% a year, because it's a finite amount. There's no more. There's no more of this. It's just no more. So it's an asset class that everybody should seriously pay attention to. So that will conclude the segment. I did it in 55 minutes, actually less, which is good. I'm gonna put that's my trading screen right there. So let's look at the chat. Cheeky Chops, you're spamming the chat, bro. Again, why are you doing that, Cheeky Chops? I know you can type fast. Let's see. Good morning to everyone. My camera boost, Surge Club, okay. She stays same. Good morning, John. Good morning. I had dinner with John last night, actually. He's he did pivot from gig work to W-2 very smartly. Wages stay the same while inflation is around. Absolutely. Stagflation. Yeah, I explained the Cheeky Chops. Techie B said, yes, made some dollars last week. This week, buying the underlying. I shouldn't have sold Howell on the way down, but DCing. Okay, Howell, we're going to talk about that. Okay, you'll sell it. No, don't do that. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in the members only too, and I'll tell you guys what I'm doing. Okay, Cheeky Chops is spamming. Fed is playing stupid. I kind of agree. Okay, I like this one, Cheeky Chops. See, when you say something intelligent, I'm going to put it up. We are heading for stagflation. Okay. No. Okay, Cheeky Chops, look at you. Holy crap. Why do you do this? Just put everything in one comment. Oh my God. I don't boot people off, but you're getting close. Daniel is somebody I'll listen to. Cheeky Chops, low interest rates are inflationary. Look, absolutely it is. Absolutely. I listen to Daniel. Daniel's a PhD, either student or to be. So don't mess with Daniel. Daniel knows what he's looking about it. Yeah. Well, I guess they didn't save enough for retirement now, did they? Yeah. Well, they should have. $800 is not going to get you anywhere. Hopefully their homes are paid off. Yeah, low interest rates were around for the most of your life. And lower interest rates are definitely inflationary. And if inflation does come back, okay, let's see what Daniel said. Cheeky Chops, you need to go back to 2008 and look for information about economy the same way Sergio has been doing to understand what. Yes, thank you, Daniel. Cheeky Chops, become a member. Come to the members live stream. Then I'll teach you a couple things. How about that? You get a free t-shirt. Sergio, get your haircut looking like a hobo. Yeah, I know. I need to. Yeah, I need to do that. But I have other technical issues today, so I was struggling to make it to the power hour, man. Okay. 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 Well, I don't know. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Yes, Cheeky Chop, stop spamming the board. You can have a discussion when you're spamming the board. Do you use bot or something? How fast are you typing here? What do you think about Matt Getz? The AG? I don't know. I have my reservations about it. Yeah, they are heavyweights. Okay. Mojotronics is, yes, they are. No question about it. But then we'll have the last laugh, hopefully. Okay, Cheeky Chops, I'm going to boot you. I'm going to put you in a timeout. Seriously, I'm going to put you in a timeout. Where am I from? You should know that by now. I was born in Istanbul, Turkey. I'm Armenian. Yes, I am Armenian. And no, I'm not from Romania, Adele. I was born in Istanbul in Turkey, although I am Armenian. So Turkey is a Muslim country. I was born in a Muslim country. I'm Christian. I'm Armenian. That's my culture. Armenian is the culture. My religion is Christian. Okay. Okay, you guys need to. Adam Warner says still need to learn options. Yes. Okay, yeah, but that's such a difficult thing to trade, and it's on a daily basis. Those ETFs, reverse ETFs, are not doing it. I don't know why. Edward Lee, good question. Finally, are the BRICS nation buying BTC? I would highly doubt it. They are definitely buying gold. There's 100% truth in that the BRICS are 100% buying gold. No ifs, no buts, no questions about it. Okay, gold is 2,800, people. When was the last time gold was 2,800? Never. Right? Gold's actually outperforming even stocks. So, but there's definitely some truth to a lot of this. So let me put this up for you guys. This is my trading screen. Market's eating it today. It opened lower and it's just died. I don't know how much is down. It's down a lot. But then, what saved my butt? What do you guys think saved my butt? Go look at the positions. Go look at the positions on Wednesday's positions. What did I have? I had 25 of the SPY December expiration for 85 puts. Let's see where I sold them at 8 to 8.5 range. I'm sure they're higher now, but then I don't kick myself. That was almost a double. Let's see where they are. You guys hopefully can see the screen. Not 485, 585 puts. What am I saying? Okay, let's take a look. 585 puts. They're 9.5 now. Okay, I sold them between 8 and 8.5, but I had bought them at 4. That's a double. But then my long exposure is completely gone, right? I have like some cheapy 20, 30 cent options. My equity actually improved because of the put protection I had. My put protection was put on as a hedge, but no, it actually helped me. And this proves the point again and again and again. What have I been saying? Market goes up the stairs. What does it do? Takes the express elevator down. And that's what's happening today. Let's take a look at charts in my watch list, and then I'll go back to the comments. Here's the charts. This is the watch list, people. A lot of things are breaking down, so be really careful. So we gapped up. This is the S&P 500 going back a year, 1 year, 1 day chart. We had a massive rally. Trump, I think they're taking out that premium and shooting it today, right? Reality is setting in. And I am being really cautious here. On any rally, I will buy more puts for trading purposes, obviously. Again, none of this is trading and advice or whatever. Adam said SQQQ is doing well. Adam, you can only make money on a daily basis with SQQQ, or if something like the Japanese carry trade debacle happens when the market really needs to drop fast and furious for you to make money on SQQQ. If you look at SQQQ, by the way, is an inverse ETF of the triple Q, okay, which has been going up. And this is the triple Q, okay, which is ridiculously doing wonderful until today, of course. And then it's breaking an uptrend, which we're going to talk about in a minute. SQQQ has got nothing but go down because there is carry costs, there is rollover costs. It has got nothing but go down, right? If you catch it correctly, yes, you will make some money. Just like last one when the yen carry trade happened, okay? The triple Qs went down by 15% in a matter of 3 weeks. SQQQ went from 37, and this had a reverse split, I can see, Adam. SQQQ went from 36 or 35 to 57. Great. If you caught that, great. But you cannot buy and hold SQQQ because you're going to get eaten alive. You know how many times this had like a split, reverse split, for the price to be in the 30s again? Because last time I checked, it was like $6. It probably had a 5-for-1 reverse split. So this is not a trading tool for me. What a trading tool for me is options, or you can short the indexes and things like that. So let's get back to spiders, back at the ranch. I'm going to go through my watch list real quick, and then I'll answer some questions and say goodbye, because what is today? Third Friday of the month. What happens on the third Friday of every month? Option expiration. I know my students know, my members know that. So this is the SPY. There is a little bit of an uptrend that we're coming into. 50-day EMA is still above it. So I am not, ringing the alarm bells yet, but I'm really, really cautious here. So I think what's going to happen, my money says We gapped up and flew higher after the election. That premium is being taken out. Reality is setting in. Now we got to be really careful. Do I see anything else? No. All I see is an uptrend. So I'm okay with it. But I will not put too much exposure on, because on an individual basis, there are stocks that are kind of breaking down. Triple Qs are a little weaker. If you've been reading your technical analysis books, what is this pattern called up here? A gap up and a gap down. This is called, Vic knows, I'm pretty sure, it's called an island pattern. So you guys need to pay attention to that. MACD is also turning down. So all I'm asking for the QQQs or SPYs is give me a rally to buy the puts back. I want to be long puts until the market can prove me otherwise. But while I'm long puts, what I'll do is that I'll increase my long exposure on a couple of different things that I think that will move. So here's your spider for the day. It opened at 590, 2-minute chart. We're at 583, right? So if you're the zero DTE type of person and you traded this on the put side, if you're on the call side, you hit the wall already. So, you're okay. But let me go back to the daily chart, and then let's start looking at some stocks, individual stocks. Some of the Mag 7, Apple, and please put your stock questions. Apple's still hanging in there. Excuse me. It's getting cold in California. So Apple, middle of nowhere, nothing really. If the market's going to break, it's going to break though. One of my favorites, Affirm. Okay, market's down on its butt. What is Affirm today? It's up, right? These are the type of stocks that I've been talking about that you guys need to find. Okay, I've been talking about Affirm since it had the catalyst right here. Earnings came out, broke out. It has done nothing but higher highs, higher lows. If you're in Affirm, do you even care if the market's down 3% today? No. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. You need to understand outperformance and underperformance. Okay, there's Albemarle. I added to my list. I'm not buying it yet because it's still under 200-day EMA. I don't touch things if they're under their 200 EMA. There's AMD breaking down. Going into support though. So this is what trading is about. So I don't draw too many lines on my charts, but there is support on AMD at 130, 132 range. Okay, so if it gets there, which is getting, there's about 135 now. What do? Maybe I'll put in a long call position, play a pop of 5-6 points and then get my money out and leave the game again, right? But it's clearly in a short-term downtrend, long-term's kind of going sideways. A lot of stocks are looking like this. They're kind of breaking down. Who is the fool? Not Jeff Bezos. He sold another $1.5 billion worth of stock right at the high to some institution. Amazon down 10 points today. It's pulling back to its 20 EMA to where it broke out of. So it's kind of into support now. I don't know. I mean, a lot of these, are giving me heebie-jeebies, these Mag 7 stocks. ASTS is one of the stocks I've been following since it was $8 a share, actually. Hit 40. Now it's kind of going sideways. Earnings came out. It's becoming really herky-jerky for my taste even. Another chip stock I follow, Avago. Kind of breaking down now. Looks like a little toppy. I will wait on Avago until 150, which is the 200 EMA. It's about 163. There is not much support here. A lot. And then, my concern with all of this is NVIDIA's earnings are coming out on the 20th. And this is the semiconductor index. That's looking toppy to me. So I'm just looking like a rollover. And speaking of the devil, NVIDIA, made an all-time high by a few pennies after the election. Now it's kind of pulling back. Earnings are out. NVIDIA has a problem here, okay? First of all, first time in a while, I may go short NVIDIA. I'm looking at a massive bearish divergence here on the MACD. These don't happen that often, but when they do happen, just like here, it happened here. I'm circling it. Stock made an all-time high. MACD never confirmed. And then the next leg down on NVIDIA was, at that time, it was 95. It was 95 to 75. That's like 20+%. I will definitely pay attention to this. It had another bearish divergence right here on the MACD. Stock made a high, equaled the high. MACD never got up there. And that pullback was from 135 to 90. So as we know how fast NVIDIA can move, please be careful if you're on NVIDIA. Protect yourself with buying some puts or selling some calls. As a potential bearish divergence developing in NVIDIA. Earnings are out. NVIDIA's headache, I think, this quarter is going to be some company. This is their third largest customer. NVIDIA's third largest customer, super microcomputer. This is the mother of all downtrends, right? This looks like a complete fraud to me at the moment from all the news that I'm reading, and it's NVIDIA's third largest customer. Is NVIDIA getting paid from these people? When we say NVIDIA size and scale, and SMCI being their third largest customer for their AI chips, and supposedly SMCI is turning out to be a fraud because they can't even find a, big five accounting firm to okay their earnings. They keep delaying it. This is looking like a headache. This could be a headache to NVIDIA. As I told you, I'm out of BABA completely. Now, hold on a second here. So I talk about BABA in the mid 70s, sold it in about 108 to 110 range, and now we're back to 88. Okay, where is BABA pulling to? BABA is pulling to the 200 EMA to the breakout area. Old resistance becomes new support. I may give BABA a chance right about 85. Okay, 85, 88. Low risk trade, really. I think I will give it a chance at 85, 88 range. So, follow me on that one. And here's the one that I missed, that I'm crying. I'm completely in tears, actually, today. In fact, I added this to my watch list last power hour, last Friday. Go check it. Go check it. I am in mourning today. Actually, I shouldn't be. I made good money on my puts. I added this last Friday to my watch list. It's called Bloom Energy. Go watch it. In fact, I talked about this on the members live. You guys remember on Wednesday? This thing broke out on high volume before the earnings came out. Okay? Broke above the 200, above the 50, above the 20, and MACD first time went above 0, right? I said I'm a buyer of this if it pulls back to 12 to in that range back to the 200 EMA. All it did was go sideways, and today what happens? Earnings come out. Where does the stock go? 23. Crying. Missed it. And I had it. And I Am I back? I'm back. Yes? You guys can see me? I lost internet. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys see me? Put a thumbs up in the chat, please. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what's going on. I'm not enjoying myself today. I mean, I'm enjoying my trading, but I'm not enjoying anything else. So where was I? BE. Have you guys seen BE, right? What it did today? Members, did you buy that? Did you? If some of you buy it, please, please. But you guys can't see the stocks now. Of course not. Hold on a second. God dang it. Let's share the screen again. Oh, man. Technology. Okay, can you guys see the screen now? Please put a thumbs up. Can you guys see the screen? Okay, cool. Okay, so we're back, I hope. At the stage. Boom. Okay, I think we're back. What is going on today, man? What happened? Okay. At the stage. Let's just show you guys. My internet is so sketchy right now. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, cool. Should be good now. Should be good. So Bloom Energy, I think I was there. Sorry, but these kind of things happen. And yeah, that's that. Any pullback now, hopefully we'll get a one. And then it's a tradable stock now, even on a down day, right? On down days, these are the types of situations we're looking for. A lot of you traded Bitcoin. I know BITX, a lot of the members made money with that. BITX is double ETF of Bitcoin. These are the ones you trade, Adam, on the upside. Let's see. Coinbase, Bitcoin is up today, right? Broke out. You just kind of on the pullbacks. And then, okay, well, I added to my list. So earnings came out on this already. So there is not much catalyst coming out. But again, it's under this 200 EMA. I'm just really carefully watching. I mean, this obviously is down a little bit today. ELF, Eric, Larry, Frank, I added to my list. And let's see. HOWL, a lot of you bought it because I bought it, I know. It's at 181. My average is 250 after my options expire. I'm doing cover call strategies to remedy my losses. So it's not all gains. There's also losses. Nothing has changed with the company. It's just, it's just reacting horribly to the market. But I'm going to keep selling cover calls on it. I extensively explained it on the members only live. That's my strategy, and I'm sticking to it. The company is a biotech company. This kind of, these kind of movements do happen with these companies. But I mean, I think the pullback is a little severe here from 410 to 180 now. No, they're not going to issue any shares. It's not going down because of that. But I sold the 2.5 calls against my position, and they're going to expire worthless, obviously. And then for December, I'm going to sell them about 20, 25 cents again, hopefully. And but I'm eating it on this for sure. But it's into support now. I mean, this is the talk about catching a falling knife, right? But it's going. I mean, look, they had a catalyst. They have a wonderful cancer drug that they're working on. It's in the developmental phase. And I do have to pay attention to fundamentals on stocks like this. And I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to sell $2.50 calls against my position month after month. And then pretty soon I'll own it for nothing. But again, I'm not going to sell it all at once, but slowly, 10, 20, 30 options in them. I have 13,000, 13,500 shares. I mean, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. So hopefully, you guys will be patient with it as well, because I'm being patient with it. But the market eating it today is not helping. Let's see. Financial stocks are doing well, but let's not look at that. Okay. Another trader that a lot of you traded with me, a lot of the members did anyway. LUNR. I've been talking about that for months, and you guys know the setup that I like. This is the setup that we're talking about here, right? There's a catalyst, it gaps up, it goes sideways, consolidates. That's what's gonna, I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen to BE. Yesterday, earnings came out. This thing hit $15 yesterday. Okay. I had options. If you did trade the underlying, you did well. If you didn't sell it in that furious rally after the earnings, yeah, a little profit taking came in. Today, market's down, stock is up. So I am not going to let this one go, obviously. LUNR is the symbol. Another one that, in this space, like what I try to do is I try to find stocks in this space, right? Another one is Rocket Labs. Look at these charts. They don't care what the market is doing, do they? No, they don't care. So you find stocks in a group, and then they're all going to act that way, and they're all going to beat the market. So that's what you do. You just find them. It's not hard to find, and then you stick with that group. What was hot still is to a point. Nuclear stocks, right? Not today, but actually Vic introduced us to NNE at $10. That thing went to 27, 26. Okay. I didn't trade that, but I traded OKLO, which all these nuclear stocks are doing better because supposedly AI will have massive amounts of need for power. Well, it's kind of iffy now on OKLO. I traded that multiple times. But you guys need to pay attention to these. Like when groups get hot, they don't die right away, right? When an OKLO goes, like on a breakout here, right here, okay? One above is 200 EMA, first time at $9. One above, consolidated, pull back to it, and that was it. And then 9 to 27, off to the races. Okay, let's do this. Let's say you missed the bottom by 20% and you missed the top by 20%. What does that leave you? 9 to 27 is 18 points. 20% from the bottom, 20% from the top leaves you about 12 points in the middle. Plenty of room. It's a double, more than a double. Okay, so you guys need to have this kind of mindset. Another Mag 7 that's kind of, iffy is Microsoft, kind of going sideways, doing nothing. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, MicroStrategy. What does that look like to you guys? Doesn't it look like to one of these? Like it's like a little consolidation phase because it goes higher? Look, this guy is a bona fide genius. He knows, yes, he's mortgaging his company to buy more Bitcoin. I don't know. I mean, you either believe it or you don't believe it. I will not short MicroStrategy with your money, although I did trade it quite heavily last 3 days, 2 days, in fact. But I'll explain that when I'm talking about options with you guys. I sold premium in a lot of them. Another one that kind of broke down is Micron. Unfortunately, it triple top. I mean, 110 was resistance, 114 just kept hitting it, and then now look where we are. I wouldn't do it. Support is like in the mid 80s, so it's far away from that. Nvidia, I looked at. Let's see. Palantir. Somebody had, I remember this like a couple of weeks ago. Somebody said on Palantir, and then it was right about here. I think it was like 45. Isn't that a top? I'm like, yeah, it's going to consolidate and then break out again. And sure enough, what happened? It consolidated and broke out. 45, stock is 65. I mean, I don't know. There are some stocks that I'm really looking to buy, actually. One is Reddit. Had earnings, again, massive gap up, catalyst. Any pullback to 112, I'm all over Reddit. I'm all over it. So keep that in mind, people. My long-term portfolio is literally all cash now because I need stocks for that. I sold out of all my Kava. I sold out of all my Carvana. I've been talking about this for months with you all. You can go check out the old power hours. Let's see. What else is worth mentioning? That's kind of outperforming the marketplace. No, not that one. Spiders, nowhere. Yeah, spiders are nowhere. Tesla, okay. Tesla, I think, pulled back. I mean, again, with the win, right? Trump win and his participation in the cabinet and stuff now. Not for me yet, but 285 maybe. I don't know, somewhere in that range. I'm very interested. Another one that's I like a lot, and I've been talking about it a lot, is Upstart. Okay, so Upstart earnings came out. I mean, I started buying Upstart here, traded it in and out. Many of the members followed this. Earnings came out, went up to 82, from 55. They're issuing new bonds, convertibles. So that's normal, because what the hedge funds do is they short the underlying and they're buying those bonds. So what is happening? Okay, it's just going to pull back, going sideways, biding his time. Anything around 60 to 65, I'm on it. And one last one. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat about individual issues, because I get another one that broke out is Shopify, but I don't trust that company for some reason. Look at these gaps, right? When I'm talking about catalyst is mostly earnings. And when the earnings come out on these things, they do move. And when they move, you don't have to trade it. I mean, look, if you're right on the earnings, you're going to make a fortune. But if you're wrong, like here, this is also earnings right here. The stock gapped down that last time. You just rolling the dice. So I don't like doing it. But once it's out, for example, on Reddit, I'm going to definitely use my front screen watching, right? Earnings came out, catalyst was there, gapped up, went even higher. Now it's kind of consolidating, pulling back. Okay, fine. Let it pull back to 110. I'm all over it, because the trend has started now, right? Same thing happened on Kava, right? How many earnings periods can you go through, right? Solid uptrends. We need to find solid uptrends, and those are the ones we're going to buy on dips. That's what it's called, buying the dip. And hopefully you guys learned some stuff today. Okay, let's okay, cool. No screen yet. Okay, you guys saw the screen. Okay, let's answer some questions. Yes, you lost me, I know. I'm back. Yes. Thank you, B. Daniel, you need to start investing. You're a young man. You have all your life ahead of you. I hope you're investing. Okay, cool. FWIV XRP. Okay. Yeah, those are the altcoins. Remember SMR? No, I don't. Do I remember SMR? What is SMR? Let's take a look. Anyway, so sorry about all the technical issues. Hopefully it's not as bad as I think. Yeah, SMR too. Definitely. Yep. Nuclear energy. So nuclear energy getting hot just because AI is going to need a lot of energy to run, I guess. So Lunar at 15, right at the opening bell for a 50% profit, then it dumped within a minute. Yeah, so you got lucky. So, but what are you doing now? Did you get back in at 10? Did you? Probably not. Well, now let it consolidate a little bit. Let it build one of those little week or 2 or 3 consolidation periods. Let the moving averages catch up, and then you get back on again. Get back on the horse if you're going to trade. So anyway, so with that said, any other questions, please email me. You can do it, sergio@sergioavidian.com. If you're a member, please order your shirt so I can send you one, and join the members-only live streams every... Well, it got there. Almost got there, right? It got to 9-ish this morning at the open, and then it took off. So if you're a member, please ask for your t-shirt. If you're a new member, I'll send you a t-shirt, even if you're a member for a month. But more importantly, when you become a member, you're not doing it for the t-shirt. You're doing it for the live. I think a lot of members are getting a lot of good stuff out of it. So with that said, it's okay. I wish you a great weekend. Be safe out there. And I will see you guys on the other channel on Tuesday. And before then, actually, I'll be back on Monday with Trading with Sergio. Let's see what happens. Today is just a down day. We'll see how the market's going to react in all of this. But much love. I'll see you guys on Monday and next Friday. Please support. Please put a thumbs up. Please share. I'm looking at some metrics. 85% of the people who are watching the videos are not subscribers. I'm like, why are you watching it? And subscribe. It's free. But anyway, so thumbs up. Sorry about the problems. Sorry about my background. I don't know. I'm in shambles today, other than doing okay in the market. So see you guys later.